Okay, let's get this party started. What's up?
How's it going?
Ramon Azab here, a.k.a. Remon, with the Alliance for our third ever Alliance Gaming Community live stream. And we're going to have a holiday special this weekend, guys. We got to make up for last night. We actually had some technical difficulties, and we weren't able to get the stream up. The computer kept crashing, and it just wasn't working out. So we were able to get the kinks worked out, and we were able to get everything together to get a nice stream out together for you guys tonight. We wanted to make sure that we had all the screens for you guys and the shots and everything ready for the PowerPoint presentation. So we got all that done, and we're going to go over a whole bunch of content tonight. First, we're going to be covering the update, the most recent update. We're going to be going over some of this Star Wars Celebration stuff, and the new trailers for Battlefront and The Last Jedi and Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. And then we're going to go into, of course, the weekly meta report, our top 10 list, and then we'll have our Q&A section towards the end of the stream. So stay tuned for all that stuff. We got a lot of great stuff coming. So much news this week coming out with the updates. So we're going to get started with that. But first and foremost, let me introduce who we have here on the show today. With me is our regulars. We have Lotion Lightstrider here today, getting us kicked off. Lotion, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Doing good. We got good old Maurice. Maurice, how's it going?
Swell. How's everybody doing?
Doing good. Doing good. We have Champy. How you doing, Champy?
I'm good, man. Good as always. How was everyone else out there?
Doing good, man. Doing good. And we got Talon is in the house with us this week. Talon, welcome back, buddy.
Hey, how's it going?
Talon in the house.
AKA Talon, I guess.
AKA Talon. And we have Maurice. Maurice is the golden chinchilla. You know what I'm saying? I forgot to introduce him properly. I apologize for that. But we also have Omega Shenron in the house today. What's going on, Omega?
Glad to be here. I just want to wish happy birthday to my Star Wars wifey, Cheeky Cutie. It's her birthday today. She's probably out having a bunch of fun.
Yeah, Cheeky's not going to be able to join us tonight, but she will be back as soon as possible. But she is having a birthday today, so for her out there, let's all wish her a happy birthday, a safe and enjoyable one. Now, the last, but absolutely, definitely the least, Dartron is in the house.
Dartron in the house.
Yes, sir.
And what's going on, Dartron?
Good. Just watching the hockey games, for my hockey pool. So I'm gonna have a good night.
Nobody cares about the hockey game. We're talking about Star Wars.
That must be a Canadian thing. Who knows?
We're talking about Star Wars, Dartron. Anyway, we got a lot of great stuff. Great panel, and we're going to go over, the news first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up the info here from the most recent game update, and we'll get started with that. So what's new? We have new characters in the game, Gar Saxon and the Imperial Super Commando. We also have 3 new ships in the game, the Ghost, the Phantom II, and the Gauntlet Starfighter. Okay, and then let's see here. With your Phoenix Squad collected, this year's Star Wars Celebration fires off with a Rise Together event, awarding players blueprints for Phoenix Squad's ships, the Ghost and the Phantom II. For those that have missed them last month, we're also bringing back the bundles and packs to the store for all Phoenix Squadron members. Upon completing the Rise Together event, a new event will unlock Stand Together. This no-cost reward event will allow you to play with the complete Phoenix Squad up to 5 times a day, with the opportunities to revisit the Ghost and the Phantom ships as well. In addition to the festivities detailed above, there will be double drops in Cantina for 5 days, so be sure to enjoy or join in on the celebration. Okay, so interesting stuff there. They brought Gar Saxon and the Imperial Super Commando into the game. Definitely interesting characters. I wanted to actually go over those characters, and I think we have we have the Imperial Super Commando's abilities available for us to look at here. So I want to take a look at that. Now, let's see what we got here. So,
I mean, quickly, we'll just go over that stand together event. The rewards are really not worth doing. If you want to see the chemistry of the Phoenix Squadron against various teams, it's definitely a good event to check out. But to do it simply for the rewards is not really worthwhile.
no. What's cool about the event is that you're getting the opportunity to try out your Phoenix Squad characters at max, right? So you could try out the different abilities. You could try out the Phantom and the Ghost 2, and really just see if it's worth it to make the investment with those characters. Okay, so here we go. We've got the Imperial Super Commando up here. His basic ability is deal physical damage to target enemy with a 70% chance to inflict offense down for 2 turns and attack again if the target had less than 50% turn meter. Okay, now his special attack with a 2-turn cooldown is deal physical damage to target enemy, dispel all buffs on them, and inflict buff immunity for 2 turns. And then his unique is Imperial Super Commando has 66% counter chance and gains 50% offense for each enemy with no buffs. So it's a pretty interesting kit. What are your guys' thoughts on that? What do you think about the Super Commando talent?
Well, it just looks like this Super Commando guy. It looks like he would actually be great with Saxon. I know we haven't got to him yet, but because of his counter chance, I mean, that right there, I think I would put him on a team with Saxon. Like I said, we'll get to that in a second.
I honestly think his best skill is his second skill. It's only got a 2-turn cooldown, and it does dispel buffs and does buff immunity. Granted, it is a single target, but at 2 turns, you can maybe neutralize a tank because it's 2 turns and it's got a 2-turn cooldown. So that's something to think about too.
Especially
that's pretty
like
awesome.
Baze. Oh.
Yep, Baze. It's a good counter to Churu. It's a good counter to Royal Guard. It's a good counter to Sunfac. Any of those tanks.
Even Savage.
Savage, yeah, that's another one.
I'm thinking they would work well with Krennic and Death Trooper possibly. So, I mean, I could be wrong, but it seems like maybe a combination of maybe Krennic and Death Trooper, and maybe insert Kylo Ren or Boba Fett or somebody else as a third person. They could be pretty good, but again, it's too early to see. I believe that Gar Saxon is the tank out of the two, and he has pretty low health pool. So, we'll have to see what they look like when they're actually available in the game. But he starts off at a base of 121 speed, and looking here at his physical damage in the 2300 range, which is pretty decent. His health pool seems pretty good actually. So I don't know. I think the character has potential. I definitely like the fact that they're breaking out some different types of Imperial characters. I mean, always welcome to have more Empire characters, of course. So that's pretty awesome. But we'll have to see what they amount to, when we actually get the chance to, get our hands on them and try them out. Anybody else have any input on Imperial Super Commando?
I would just say, from an attacker standpoint, though, his damage, range seems pretty low, and given the fact he doesn't have a lot of AOE or group abilities, he's very single target oriented. So that may change his ability to be viable in certain teams.
I think he's one of those characters that's not going to hit particularly hard. He's going to hit often, though. Remember, he has a 65% counter chance, and his basic does have the ability to hit twice. No.
Yeah,
he has the ability to do often. Yeah.
It's just you have to be hitting somebody below 50% turn meters. So he will double tap if you have less than 50% turn meter.
Okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but if somebody hits you and you counter, aren't they always going to be?
It's going to be 100%. They're going to be at 0 turn meter after they attack, so they would get an attack back at that point.
But would he double tap them every time?
Well, that's just it. I don't understand really why you would even say that, because on a basic, if he's attacking, yes. On his counter, technically he could go twice, because then you just hit him and then he's going to come back twice at you.
That's my thinking.
I think he would be really good with the Vader lead, because he's definitely using those turn meter manipulation, and if you're using Vader on top of that, it's just adding more into him countering and reducing more turn meter from his attack. So I think he's going to be really good around Vader. He could be actually potentially be good around Krennic too, because every time somebody attacks a character, he's going to put a ability block. So this is going to be synergy really good with a good dark side users that benefit from his turn meters and ability blocks and other leader abilities.
Well, and also take into account he gets plus 15 offense for each enemy with no buffs. So even though his physical damage is in the 2300 range, he's going to get, if you have no buffs on your enemies, what is that, 75% offense, which is pretty significant. So his attacks could do a lot more damage for no buff characters.
Especially if you're double tapping them.
Yeah, so that could be like the key to why, his damage is in a lower range because of the fact that he gets so much offense from no buff characters.
Okay.
I think he does the offense down, right? That's key.
Well, most important question here is: anybody going to invest in this guy? Who's spending money on this Imperial Super Commando?
Not it.
It depends.
Right, me.
The most of us aren't. I wish we were talking about somebody that I was going to get. Maybe if he was $200, I would.
He looks fun, but he's not a game changer, and he's not a key member.
He doesn't look to be a top 5 Empire character. I mean, I'm sure you can find 5 better Empire characters to put in the squad.
I don't think any Empire character is a top 5 character right now. I mean, with the exception of Palpatine inside of, even Vader. I mean, what are you beating a Darth Maul team with Vader right now? No.
Well, no, but who would you include over? I mean, who would you take out of your typical Empire squad for this guy? Especially now that you have access to Krennic and Death Trooper. I don't see him being very, very good.
I'm more intrigued by the next character that we're going to be taking a look at here.
100%, yeah.
And that's Gar Saxon. Let's go ahead and take a look at his abilities and pull him up on screen here. Now, Gar Saxon is from the Rebels TV show. If you're not aware, he's got he's on the Imperial side of things. He's actually the leader of Clan Vizsla at the moment in the story, and he's basically warring with the other houses to try to keep the Imperial rule over Mandalore. So they're trying to get rid of him. I think he actually lost in a saber battle to Sabine. Did he die in that episode? I don't think so. Right? He's still alive somewhere. I'm not sure if anybody else saw that. I don't remember. I don't remember if he died. I don't think he died. I think he's still alive. But all right, let's take a look at his abilities here. His basic attack, which is called
On the Hunt.
On the Hunt, is deal physical damage to target enemy with a 70% chance to inflict speed down for 2 turns. If the target already has speed down, reduce Gar Saxon's cooldowns by 1. Now that's pretty interesting.
I've never seen really important for his second ability.
And his second ability is Calculated Ambush. Deal physical damage to all enemies, dealing double damage to enemies with less than 50% turn meter. Enemies that had at least 50% turn meter lose 30% turn meter. Okay. Yeah, so I mean, and that's with it's a 3 turn cooldown, right?
5.
It's a 5 turn cooldown?
It's on a 5 turn cooldown, but that's obviously at the top level, right?
Okay.
It starts like at level when you're at level 1. I think it's on a 6 turn cooldown.
Yeah, but remember his basic does also have the chance to reduce it too.
And it seems like it might do a decent amount of damage too. I mean, we'll have to see. I mean, I haven't really seen any other AoE attacks that do as much damage as Anakin's does. But he could be good. I mean, we were talking about his health pool, and from what I see here, we're looking at a base of 21k health, and he's got 22k protection for a tank. That's not too much, right?
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking. I mean, if you look at, the Commandos was almost at the same health and protection, if not higher. He does have higher, Gar Saxon does have higher health steal, but other than that, and probably a little bit more armor rating. I mean, from a tank standpoint, he's not as tanky as I would have expected.
That's right. That's right. Sabine's mother ended up killing him at the end. All right, so Gar Saxon is gone at the end of that episode, but he's pretty crazy. Let's take a look at his next. Is unique. So it's Empire allies gain. Is that a unique or is that a leader? That's his unique, right?
That's his unique.
Yeah. So it's
that's his leader
Empire
ability.
allies.
Empire allies gain 50% counter chance. And
Yeah, his leader
40%
ability is Empire allies gain 50% counter chance and 40% defense. Whenever an Empire ally uses a basic attack, they recover 5% health. Okay, so that's actually a pretty interesting ability. I mean, as far as a leader is concerned, I mean, 50% counter chance is cool, 40% defense is okay, but I really don't see that competing with some of the other, Empire leader abilities that we have. I mean, I think Vader's leader ability is much better than that. I think even Palpatine's leader ability is better than that. If you were looking at maybe percent offense, it just looks to me like maybe like an alternative to like an I'm a Gundy lead,
And it's an interesting leader ability because it gives you a 50% counter chance, but then it goes with 40% defense. So it's kind of a little bit of extra damage and a little bit of extra defense. The 5% recovery of health when you're using a basic is nice. When you look at the fact that his unique, which you're about to get into, is 100% assist chance, but you have a lot of people doing counterattacks, and you have a lot of other people now doing additional damage because of the fact that of that 50% counter chance. It could actually become a viable solution if you look at it from a holistic standpoint.
I mean,
what's
his leadership is only viable because of his unique.
His unique ability. Yeah, his leadership ability is really cool because the unique gives him a 100% chance to assist anytime somebody counters. So basically, if there's a 50% chance for anybody on his team or any Empire ally on his team to counterattack, and then if they counterattack, there's a 100% chance that he's going to be called in to assist for that attack. So he's going to be going a lot of times, which should be pretty interesting. I mean,
yeah. And if you take his with Commando and look at again, the unique of the Commando with a 65% counter chance and Gauge 50 offense, that you have so many counters going in with both of them together. Together they might actually be a viable solution.
But also bear in mind with his basic, he reduces his cooldowns every time he counterattacks too.
Exactly.
So so every time he counterattacks, he's going to reduce his cooldowns, and he's going to be counterattacking a lot because he's going to be called in to assist all the time. So he could actually end up being pretty cool. It's a really interesting kid, I got to say.
The cool
and
thing
with
about
the speed down on
unique,
basic is good too.
The cool thing about this basic is it says whenever another ally attacks during an enemy turn. It doesn't say Empire ally. It says ally only. So you could potentially throw a Dooku there. And since Dooku's counterattacking twice, sometimes Gar Saxon's going to be assisting on both.
Oh, that's a cool point.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean, even if with the phase, it could work.
Well, even think of Fives throwing that in there with Fives with all of his counterattacks.
There you go. Now we're building theory crafting a team here.
Yeah, I mean, now again, that's assuming that like a multiple attack counter, like say a Fives, because he can go multiple times with his speed down. If it has speed down, he may go 2 times on a counter. If you actually can stack those on theirs, then that could be a very viable.
I think coupling Fives into this guy, even if you didn't use him as the leader, you can probably get away with him assisting multiple allies, not just
Fives, Dooku. There's a few people that counter multiple times, and that would be an interesting combo to see in play.
I mean, Fives would be probably the ideal candidate to be on this guy's team. So I mean, that would be
filthy.
Yeah, especially with that protection regen too.
Yeah, right.
And it's the.
Don't forget, you can add Phasma into this too. as a leader too. With 5 and him.
Yeah, but he only attacks or assists on the attack when it's the enemy's turn. You know?
Right.
So
yeah, so I mean,
if your team is assisting, he's not going to assist along with that, right? So it's not going to be like a triple assist kind of deal.
But with Gar Saxon's basic ability also doing speed down. I mean, if you throw 5s in there with his speed down on his basic, then basically everybody's going to have speed down all the time.
I could see that. I could see you using him with maybe 5s, Death Trooper, Krennic, and maybe
Dooku.
Now,
maybe Dooku.
Now, another cool character to put in with him if he was leader would be like Royal Guard. Can you just imagine Royal Guard retaliating every time he got hit, putting speed down and stunning you? Man, that would piss you off.
Yeah, he's essentially gonna have your whole team on speed down the entire encounter, because he's gonna all the times he's gonna be coming in with this basic, he's gonna be putting inflict the speed down and reducing his cooldowns. He's gonna get a lot of that. But overall, I think an interesting character. Again, we'll have to wait and see what the character is like when we actually get the chance to try him out a little bit and see what he can do. But right now, he looks pretty good on paper, I gotta say. Would you guys agree?
I think it looks interesting. I think I'll be able to use him.
I would definitely invest in him because he'd be interesting to play with, and looks like he has versatility with a lot of different characters to make a unique build.
He'd be good behind the Poe. Poe would suck away all that turn meter that AoE has, would just explode over everybody.
All right, so now we also wanted to take a look at the new ships. We want to take a look at the Phantom Ghost, right? So let's take a look at the Phantom here first.
Good old Phantom 2.
The Phantom 2. So the Phantom and the Ghost, I gotta say, from the few tries I've had with them, it seems like they're kind of OP. Like they could be really, really good when you get them to 7 stars and they're maxed out. But we have Maurice, I think, is going to go over the Phantom 2 here. What are your thoughts on the Phantom 2?
Well, let's go over its abilities, and then we can discuss what we think. All right, the basic attack is called the Slip Away. It deals physical damage to target enemy with a 75% chance to gain stealth for 2 turns. So we got another rebel ship here that utilizes stealth, like Cassian Biston. So that's interesting. His first unique is distraction tactics. The Phantom 2 gains 5% evasion for each rebel ally. Additionally, anytime the Ghost receives a debuff or is critically hit, Phantom 2 gains Foresight and Taunt until the next time it evades. That's a mouthful. Then we got Sights Locked for the crew. This is Sabine's unique ability. Inflict target lock on target enemy for 2 turns with a 50% chance to also inflict target lock on another random enemy. So again, we got another rebel ship that utilizes the target lock. We got Ezra's unique is going to be called Maximum Impact. It deals physical damage to target enemy with a 70% chance to grant all allies critical chance up for 2 turns. This is pretty cool because I think this is the first crit chance up for ships, right? Am I wrong?
Yeah, that's the first crit chance up for ships that I can recall.
So that would be cool because then maybe Biggs actually be dishing out some target locks himself. So that's interesting. And then we got Chopper here as the final crew member. The ship takes three crew members, while Phantom 2 has no protection, has a 50% chance each to gain advantage, Foresight, offense up, or defense up for 2 turns at the end of its turn. While the Phantom 2 is active, the Ghost also has this ability. It's pretty intense. The ship's got a lot going on.
It's actually a really cool ship. I got to tell you, I'm not a big fan of the fact that they included it as that you need 3 of these Phoenix Squad characters to do this. So it's just another. To really get the full potential out of the Phantom 2 and out of the Ghost, you're going to have to buy 6 characters. You're going to have to gear them all up to gear 11, and then you're going to have to buy each of these ships and then gear them up all, and then level them up to level 85 and buy all these abilities.
Yeah, these characters are not easy gears. These characters are tough to gear. You know what I mean? You've done Ezra. I've taken a few of them up to like gear 8 or gear 9, but I'm not taking them any farther right now. But
I mean, that's you're talking about to get like a fully functional 7-star Phantom 2 in Ghost. You're talking about let's see, 6 times 4. It's
You're looking about close to $4,000. $4,000 in Canadian for me.
Yeah, you're looking between 3,000 and 4,000 to get that done, and that's a lot of money. Especially with you talking about all the gear and everything. I mean, that's just for those 2 ships and the 6 characters. I mean, you're talking about a lot. Now, listen, the 6 characters and 2 ships is cool. It's just, I mean, that just to me it seems like a really expensive endeavor, and to make an investment without really seeing what the proof is in the pudding. You're not really seeing these ships out in arena.
No.
Know if they're good. So I mean, because they're so expensive, there's going to be very few people that actually get the opportunity to try these out in a real arena scenario. So you're not going to know whether they're worth it or not. And then ultimately, the investment's going to be really steep. So it's just altogether. I mean, I think it's great. I mean, like I said, the abilities look great. I think I could see or think of quite a few different ship comps that would work great with this ship and the Ghost. But again, you're talking about a lot of pieces. That's why I'm not a huge fan of the Cassian ship either, though, because I happen to have a 7-star Cassian, K2SO, and Jin. But there's going to be a lot of people out there that don't have those 3 characters at 7 stars, especially a lot of Apple players out there. And it's, to me, it just doesn't make sense to tie 3 characters to 1 ship. I think that's too much.
I think this is why this ship is the worst of the 2, because it has Chopper, and of the Phoenix Squadron, I think he's the one you leave out. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, but I mean, his ship stats. I mean, he has a ton of health, decent protection. He's got decent speed. You've got some of the highest physical damage of any ship, and a very high crit chance. You take his kit with the rest of it, and he's not maybe a necessary ship, but for the investment that you're putting in for all the other characters, he does have a lot of things in his toolkit that he can use. And decent damage that he can bring to the table. Is he a requirement for your squad? Probably not. But if you invest in it, you're probably going to get some decent rewards from it.
Yeah, and they're incorporating a lot of evasion on the Rebel side too. With this ship, Cassian's ship, there's a lot of evasion going around. This ship, I mean, that distraction tactics almost makes this look like a light side TIE fighter pilot,
Right.
And it
exactly.
I mean, this ship.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and his damage is similar to what TIE fighter pilot would be.
168 speed is, I would say, well above average for ships, correct?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is. We'll have to wait and see. Again, we're not going to be able to tell because nobody in this chat is probably going to have that ship for quite some time, except for maybe Lotion.
Hey, they gave
or Sky Kraken.
Nah, I'll wait for a while.
They gave us this place to test these ships out, but you go in there and blow the whole thing away with 1 AOE and it's over. You can't really see them. You just get in there.
Yeah. It feels like some of the best ships. Yeah. The best ships in the game are really squishy, like Vader's ship, and they're just really squishy. And also it has like the highest power level in the game, right? But it's like the squishiest ship. I don't know. It's just kind of weird how that worked out. But
I'm talking about this.
Has anyone seen one of these in their shard yet in the fleet arena?
What were you saying, Maurice?
No, I have not.
Here's my thought onto it. One, I'm not going to be investing in this because right now, I feel like the ship's not going anywhere right now, and it's nothing to do with ships right now, just PvP. So me investing my money onto this, nope, not happening.
All right, now we have the Ghost up. So let's take a look at the Ghost abilities, Maurice. Run us through these, and let's go over this ship.
All right, this one's it's basically a basic attack. It's called the MS-2B Twin Laser Cannon. You deal physical damage to target enemy. If the Ghost is stealth, this attack is guaranteed to be a crit hit. So more stealth mechanic here from the Rebels. Sensor Scrambler is its unique ability. All enemies have 20% potency and suffer speed down for 2 turns whenever their debuffs are resisted. Additionally, when Phantom 2 is present, the Ghost cannot be target locked. That's kind of a new mechanic. It's pretty cool. And then we got Hera's individual crew ability. The ghost and target ally gain stealth for 2 turns, then call target ally to assist, and 2 buff rebel allies to assist if able, dealing 50% less damage. So basically, if you're using all rebel ships, it looks like 4 of the 5 just get to fire off a massive burst damage attack. I guess Kanan is the next one. His crew member ability is attack all angles, deal physical damage to all enemies, and deal 30% bonus damage for each stealth rebel ally. If the opponent is target locked, inflict ability block for 1 turn. All right, and then we got Zeb as the final crew. Take him down is the name of the ability. Inflict defense down to target enemy for 2 turns and expose all target locked enemies. That's awesome. These effects cannot be resisted. The ghost gains 20% turn meter for each enemy that was exposed.
That is really awesome.
That's gangster.
Yeah.
This ship is awesome.
Yeah, the ghost is really. I mean, the ghost is the better of the 2 ships. I think.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, that AOE. There's just very few AOE attacks too from ships. You got one from the Millennium Falcon. You have one from Slave One. And there's just very few of them. I can't even think of another one.
Conditional with
5s, but I
conditional
mean,
with 5s with his target lock. If there's no target lock.
like Slave 1 has the target lock mechanic as well as 5. So,
but this AOE actually does a lot of damage too. So I've from what I saw. But then again, we could have been fighting against like some real low level ships in that challenge, and we probably were. So
yeah.
Well, but
anyway,
so his physical damage numbers are in the top tier. So 12,000 or 12,000 physical damage is significant. It's up there.
I mean, it looks like a cool ship overall. Again, it just, like I said, it just goes back to what I'm saying before. It's that the investment doesn't seem worth it. The juice doesn't seem worth the squeeze. I'm not going to make that kind of an investment to get ships that are still unproven in arena. So we'd have to. Once I see some people using it in arena, I see some videos about the ships, then maybe I'll make the investment.
I can tell you firsthand that it isn't really hard to get past. But the guy that I was fighting, I mean, he had the full Phoenix Squadron, maxed out 7-star, Gear 11, and the 2 ships maxed out. But what he was running with it wasn't as effective because he didn't have like a full Cassian and he didn't have the full Bistan. So you're only left with Wedge and Biggs, right, as the other 2 rebels.
Right.
So I mean, it wasn't that hard to get past it. I mean, the guy's probably experimenting as well, throwing in different ships to see what works best. But I beat it a few times.
Okay.
But
all right.
I mean, on offense, you're probably going to see a huge difference in your offense because you can actually control the abilities rather than relying on AI.
All right, let's just go back to the rest of the news here. Okay, so what we have here is, like we said, we had the double drops. How's your guys' luck been with the double drops? Everybody going for Death Trooper?
Yeah, average. I'll say average.
Yeah,
I'm doing some Anakin and been pretty successful. I've gotten quite a considerable, generous amount of drops.
All right, so we have the Elite Combat Event 1, 2, and 3. Every tactical in their machinations, Gar Saxon arrives to, ever tactical in their how do you pronounce that? Machinations or machinations? Machinations? Anyway, Gar Saxon arrives to Galaxy of Heroes as the first wave of the Empire's threat to tackle the encroaching rebels. Join forces with Gar Saxon and the Imperial Super Commando in this 3-part tiered event. For the event 1, the Imperial Super Commando joins your squad as you face off with several encounters of rebel soldiers and pilots who are defending Chopper Base, culminating in a battle for the Empire against the Phoenix Squad's Kanan and Ezra. In the second Elite Combat Event, Gar Saxon joins your squad as your forces are tasked with defending the Mandalorian outpost on Concord Dawn. Battle your way through the rebel incursion in order to face off with the formidable captain of the Ghost Crew, Hera, along with Sabine and Chopper. And in the third and final Elite Combat Event, will be featured in our next update, and we'll see players take command of the Gauntlet Starfighter with their newly acquired Gar Saxon and Imperial Commando to defeat Rebel ships to earn blueprints for Gar Saxon's Gauntlet Starfighter. There's going to be new packs and bundles in the store. The Elite Combat Pack with Gar Saxon is you can head to the store and promote Gar Saxon from Star Wars Rebels Season 3. Even further, with the Elite Combat Pack, each pack guarantees 5 shards. Yay. And you get ability materials and credits. Same deal with the Super Commando, 5 shards per pack. And you're going to get, there's going to be a bundle, the Elite Combat Imperial Super Commando bundle, Crush the Rebels with the Imperial Super Commando, this Elite. Okay, so it's going to give you, it's going to be the same thing like they did with the Ghost characters, where you're going to get, I guess for $9.99, you get a bundle with some of the gear to level up the character and some shards. They have the Rise Together Ghost Pack. They also have the Phantom Pack and the bundle for that as well. Same idea. And what they've done now is they've also added the TIE Reaper and Kylo Ren's Command Shuttle to the Fleet Mega Pack. So you can head to the store now and get them out of the Fleet Pack. I stopped. I bought like 1 or 2 of those packs when ships first came out, and bad investment. So I just stayed away from it. I don't think I'm going to be buying any of those packs right now. Maybe if they added a lot of ships to those $4.99 crystal packs, like the single packs, I might consider pulling some of those again. If they added, Kylo Ren ship there and the TIE Reaper and, the TIE Advanced ships like that there, then I'd think about it. But, right now there's just not enough ships that I don't have in the queue for me to spend any crystals there. The Shard Shop update, K2SO has been rotated out of the Shard Shop to make way for the following Krennic Death Trooper and the TIE Advanced, which will also be available in Fleet ships. I haven't seen the TIE Advanced at all in the Shard Shop, so I don't know if any of you guys have, but
Only
hasn't
one.
come up.
Only
Yeah, it
one.
hasn't come up for me. Please note these characters will only be in the Shard Shop for a limited time, so get them while you can. As always, in order to see these new changes, please be sure to refresh your shop. Additionally, Director Krennic is now available in Hard Light Side Battles 9D, while Death Trooper is available in Cantina Node 8A. Add these Rogue One characters to your squad today. There were some bug fixes for Bodhi Rook. They fixed an issue that could cause daze to prevent counterattacks, even if it was resisted. And they fixed an issue where daily squad arena achievement was unavailable between levels 28 to 59. Just some bug fixes in the game. And we have a message here at the end for what's coming up and what's ahead. It says the Empire goes on the offensive, veering their forces for second pass. Beep, beep, boop, beep. So I'm assuming this is some sort of hint as to a character that's getting worked on or a character that's coming up. It seems like with the Empire and veering, a lot of people have been working on their General Veers. Have any of you guys taken that plunge, just hoping that General Veers is getting a rework or a Zeta or something?
No.
I've seen a lot of people doing it. I've seen a lot of people jumping on the Veers bandwagon just because of that message.
He'd need a heck of a rework for me to think about it.
I've seen a lot of people.
Or a really, really special Zeta.
I've seen a lot of people getting their Veers to Gear 10, Gear 11 over the last couple of days just because of this. So, I mean, we'll have to see what transpires here. I haven't heard anything, so, we'll have to see what happens. But it'd be pretty interesting. He would have to get a hell of a rework. I mean, maybe his leader ability would, change so he could actually be make a viable leader for the Empire and add another one there because there aren't many viable leader abilities there. Yeah, I mean, we'd have to see. I can't imagine Veers being anything special unless his damage gets significantly increased. I mean, his AOE attack is like nothing. Yeah, it's actually one of the cooler animations in the game, right? It has like that. He has like that.
The green Death Star glow.
Yeah, it's actually really cool looking, but it's like it does nothing. Same thing with Tarkin. His attack is just worthless. But
I actually thought their attacks, the animation should be reversed.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that would make more sense, right? Because I mean, Tarkin is the one that actually calls for the Death Star blast. Yeah. Death Star blast. So I mean, the Veers would not have that privilege. Anyway, let's move on here. So we've got the news done. Next, we're going to be doing The meta report.
Oh God.
Oh yeah.
Meta report.
Guess.
So
Is
where
that
you
meta
had a
report?
drum set at your desk.
Yeah, I keep a spare set everywhere I go,
Nice.
just in
Ooh.
case. Never know when
hear
you can use a
sexy voice.
good drum. Yeah, I mean you could need it, at any time. So we actually have somebody who's going to do the meta report for McLeod this week. It's going to be none other than Talon.
Talon.
Take it away, brother. Take it away, brother.
All right, for this week, we're gonna start out with leaders at number 1 rank. We've got Darth Maul taking a huge chunk of the pie. I mean, he's up to 798 by the numbers that I didn't include in these photos, but yeah, he's got 798. At least everybody's using him. And then we've got the other side of the pie with Rex here, which is the direct counter to the Zal team, because a lot of people are using that triple cleanse team just to get the Zals out of the way and get rid of all the negative status effects and everything. So we're seeing like the meta's coming out here. So there's the meta and then there's the counter meta. But I mean, there's still all these other people that are still using a Darth Vader lead. We got Wedge Antilles lead. It seems like the Qui-Gon lead has fallen out of popularity completely, and he's only there with 76. Darth Nihilus following that up. General Kenobi. Seems like some people are utilizing him a little bit more. Maybe they've gotten him up to 7 stars. Boba Fett. Nice to see him there. Jyn Erso. And there's still some people using Emperor Palpatine. One thing that really surprises me is that there is no Clone Sergeant.
Actually, it doesn't surprise me, but yeah, he's gone.
And that's pretty much the leaders at rank 1. So I guess are we moving on to squad members?
Yep, go ahead.
All right, so we got squad members, and it's pretty spread out here. I mean, there is. We'll start out here with General Kenobi. He's sitting at 882. A lot of people love using him in the team just because, heck, I mean, you work so hard for him, you want to throw him in there. And then we've got Darth Maul as a member. I'm not sure who's going to be using Darth Maul as just a member, not their leader, but it seems like there's a bunch of Sith in here as well. Emperor Palpatine, Darth Nihilus, Savage Opress. And then also we have the utility characters with Boba Fett and Kylo Ren. They're just beastly on their own. So, I mean, you can throw them pretty much into any team right now and be successful with them. We also have Baze Malbus and Chirrut. It looks like you got to use those two in a pair, so they're making their way in here as well. And we also have Rex coming into the team. So I mean, it's not very diverse in here. It's just looks like it's a bunch of Sith and then a bunch of utility characters as well.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like Nihilus still has the big piece of the pie here, but again, we're in that pizza pie meta where it's kind of split up between all the characters pretty equally. I mean, obviously it tails off a little bit towards the end there where you get Boba Fett and Savage Opress, but Kylo Ren, big piece, Chirrut Imwe, Rex obviously seeing a lot of use, especially as a leader. Baze Malbus and Chirrut you can use in any team right now, so they're out there a lot. Darth Maul obviously with his extreme use as a leader in the top 10 is obviously one of the main characters used out there. Emperor Palpatine, it's nice to see him still up there. And General Kenobi, now that more and more people are unlocking him and getting him to 7 stars, are using him in the rank 1 squad. So it's good to see that. I mean, again, pretty evenly split meta. I don't see anything trumping the Sith right now, but looks to be that most of the characters in the top 10 are diverse. It's not like it's just 5 guys being used every time. There's a lot of different squad compositions. That's cool to see. Anyway, go ahead.
I'm very surprised Sis Assassin's not in there. She's very useful. I like her. I'm surprised she's not in this.
It's just that she's a very, again, a lot of people maybe made the investment on Nihilus, but Sith Assassin's another $400, and I don't think a lot of people spent the money on that. Maybe they're gearing her up to gear 11, using her at 3 stars or 4 stars. But I think more and more people are going to start to use Sith Assassin over time. So you'll start to see her creep in there, maybe even trump or take over Swgoh Press's spot at some point. But anybody else have any input on the meta report?
I mean, that looks pretty much how I expect it to look given the current metas. Maybe you would see somebody else that goes with a Rex comp in there down the line, but everything else is pretty much what I would expect with the given meta.
Yeah, not much change over the last few weeks, to be honest. Just dominant Darth Maul, Darth Nihilus teams, and the counter to that is Rex. So you're seeing a lot of Rex usage out there. But this is pretty much standard. Finn is not gonna make it into the meta. I'm sorry, it's not happening.
Kind of surprised that there isn't Vader in there running.
Finn is cool. He's cool. He's definitely cool. I understand. Finn Resistance team is your baby, but I just don't see it making it into the top 10 right now. You cannot beat a Maul team with that team.
Oh, you slaughter a Maul team with that team.
Oh, come on.
Oh yeah, maybe put out a video later this week. Not the whole Resistance.
Maybe you got some weak Maul teams on your shard, but I'm talking about real Maul teams.
Oh, I'm talking about 7-star Maul, like Darth Nihilus, Sith Assassin, Sith Trooper.
Well, I want to see it. I mean, it's very possible. I mean, the leader ability that Finn has since the Zeta is really cool. So,
yeah, I have one of my shard that's in the top 10, and that he's the only one, but he's doing pretty good with his Resistance team.
Well, Resistance Trooper can dispel now with a special. He always got turn meter on an expose. I think Poe got a rework to his unique, so him and Finn get the same bonuses. And Rey has a Zeta now, and you also have a Resistance pilot out there. That's a pretty cool combination. Again, I still think they're missing something like a real taunting tank. But besides Poe, I mean, like somebody who can start the encounter with like a pre-taunt, because I feel like you're not going to protect Rey or some of those characters. If you're facing a Sith team, you're gonna be out. At least on offense, at least on defense, you're not gonna stand in the top 10 for very long. I think with the Sith meta right now.
No, you can't use the whole team. I mean, they're way too slow out of the gate. You got to use somebody else. Like you got to use a couple of them, like Finn, Poe, and then some other people, like a Baze or a Shore Trooper, Kenobi.
That's what I meant too.
Yeah,
I think you got to have like a Baze or like a Shore Trooper or somebody like that. All right, so let's move along here. Next segment here is going to be the top 10, and I believe today we're going to be actually doing the top 10 Zetas. And we have our Cheeky Cutie is out because it's her birthday today, so we have somebody filling in, and it's going to be his first time doing the top 10. We have Champy here. Champy, you ready to take it away for us?
Yeah, man, I'm ready. I'm honored to be filling in for Cheeky on her birthday, so cheers for that.
You're filling in some big shoes. She wears like size 17s. Okay,
killing it.
So we got a pretty interesting list again, courtesy of Malia Bean. Thank you very much. And let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and get started. Who's number 10?
All right, guys. So Zeta abilities, as you're aware, have dramatically improved the viability of many characters in Swgoh universe by adding dynamic leadership buffs, improving damage and utility, and increasing the number of words used to describe each effect. The grind is long, however, with a single Zeta mag costing 2,000 ship currency in the fleet shop, and the abilities requiring 20 of them to activate. Which Zeta abilities are the wisest to invest in? So at number 10, we have Chewbacca, his Defiant Roar leadership. There's a huge drop-off in Zeta abilities effects after the number 9 on this list. So you're left with the situational utility ability or rarely used leadership ability. I guess that happens to be Chewbacca. Chewbacca has turn meter reduction on this basic attack and over 50,000 health and protection without mods. Combine this with a Zeta ability on his special ability that clears all debuffs, heals him for 50% of his maximum health, and gains turn meter. And there may be something there, but I guess just maybe. At number 9, we have Barriss Offee, Swift Recovery on her unique. Varys' Zeta adds 20% health recovery whenever an ally is critically hit to her unique ability that dispels the ally with the lowest health and grants turn meter with the number of effects removed. Give your Kylo Ren, Chirrut, Baze, and Nihilus lead teams a massive advantage with constant health regen and yet another dispel. Number 8, we have Savage Oppress and his Brute unique. This ability gives Savage an endless supply of HOTS and even gives him the ability to dispel his Sith allies. It is easily countered by Boba Fett and Baze, but if you are unlucky enough to face him without these characters, prepare for a long and very, very frustrating fight. At number 7, guys, we have Captain Phasma. It's Fire at Will leadership. Phasma's Zeta reduces the damage penalty on assist, adds a triple assist for First Order, and gives crit protection and potency as well as advantage to First Order allies. Its extensive buff to the First Order team allows them to put up solid damage in Phase 2 of the heroic AAT, and even pushes them up on the arena board, making them viable. At number 6, we have Qui-Gon Jinn and his agility training leadership. A speed leadership is always a tremendous way to get a jump on your competition, but when you add foresight with any unit is defeated, you get a great opportunity to keep the damage rolling. A great leadership ability for the first phase in heroic AAT, a top ability for cruising through Galactic War, and even an option against those pesky Darth Maul teams that are all over your arena. At number 6, we have Darth Sidious and a sadistically unique. Darth Sidious had his time as an arena leader over a year ago and has since vanished from the meta from the raids and so on. The Zeta brings him back by adding potency and a huge health pool. Sidious can weather the offensive onslaught of his opposition to put exposed and dots on the other team. He even can work with a Darth Vader Zeta lead to unleash damage in Phase 2 of the heroic AAT. What are we at now? Number 5? Number 5, we have Darth Vader inspiring. Number 4. Sorry. Darth Vader inspiring through fear leadership, turn meter reduction on hit for Empire allies, and persistent dots make the Vader lead a powerhouse in the Rancor raid, and a great leadership for Phase 2 of the heroic AAT. Any excuse to make Darth Vader a character that you can play is definitely worth it. And number 3, personally one of my personal favorites, is Kylo Ren. His Outrage special. Kylo Ren is a beast. Zeta Outrage grants him protection regenerates equal to damage dealt on the special attack and increases its damage by 15%. As anyone who has faced a Kylo Ren 4-on-1 and lost can tell you, giving a character who can spam huge AoE and single target damage away to regeneration protection makes him an elite option. And you can solo Phase 1 of the heroic AAT with his Zeta, so shh. At number 2, we have Cody, his Ghost Company Commander leadership. Wish you could put up 9 million plus damage in Phase 4 of the heroic AAT? Well, I know I do. All of you need as well-equipped clone team and a Zeta combined with some practice and good luck. And that huge number and number 1 raid rewards are yours. By adding protection recovery on basic attacks, as well as crit chance and defense, the clone team pummels the tank and pushes your guild to victory. And of course, after we just watched that meta report, there is no doubt who is number 1. Darth Maul and his Dancing Shadows leadership. This Zeta transforms a useless character that had been ignored since the release of the game into one of the most dynamic and effective arena leaders around. By providing stealth on evasion, crit immunity, and advantage, your Sith teams jump up the leaderboard. Until something new is released, this will be a viable and effective Zeta that guarantees a huge return on the long Zeta grind. So what's everybody think about the top 10? Any questions on any of those?
Yeah, pretty interesting. I mean, I got to say, anybody here who doesn't have a Chewbacca Zeta is nuts. I mean, that should be number 1. I mean, I got as soon as Zetas came out, I mean, I started saving for Chewbacca. But that's pretty interesting. I kind of agree with most of this. I feel like maybe I would have switched around Kylo Ren and Cody. Even though Cody's Zeta is the best Zeta for the raid, I just think Kylo Ren is better for PvP, and crystals to me is more important than raid rewards. So I think
Yeah,
I mean,
would
they're both
say if people are
important.
looking
They're
for
both
raid
important.
gear, raid gear, that's one thing because Cody can definitely help you out more there. Kylo Ren, he has. I mean, I would argue with you that switching those two, and as a clone team person myself, I would say he probably would be in the number 3 spot for me. But they're both so viable today.
Well, no, I mean, like I said, you can't go wrong either way. I just think that, ultimately, what makes you survive in this game and keep going is your arena team. And if I was not a player that had that already had a Kylo Ren Zeta, I would say, I would do that before I do Cody, so I could get more crystals, because that'll help me get more refreshes. It'll help me get more characters. It'll help me get Cody. And get that Zeta. So I mean, I think that you gotta walk before you can crawl, and I think Kylo Ren is. I'm sorry, you gotta crawl before you can walk, and I'd say Kylo Ren is a better option at first. But
some people actually are looking for that raid gear to get in the top arena spot or the top raid spot so they can get better arena gear. So obviously, situationally, Cody would be a better pick, but I would agree that overall Kylo is probably a better pick of the two.
I didn't think about that aspect of it either. That makes sense. Yeah, you're right.
Just to sum it up, the top 4 there, the top 4 are all going to be one of your first Zeta abilities, and they're so far above 5 through 10 that if you don't pick 1 through 4, you're missing out. Maybe big time right now.
I mean, as far as the rest of them are concerned, Qui-Gon Zeta, I have experience with. It's great. I've seen the Phasma Zeta. I like it. I would invest first in Barriss and Savage, I think, personally, before I'd invest in Phasma. That's just my opinion. Me too. I mean, I think Sidious should be lower on the list, in my opinion. But this is what the top 10's about. I mean, it's always up to debate and question. I mean, Vader's great, for the Rancor raid, and also in certain phases of the AAT. But I mean, Maul is definitely number 1 for sure. So, any other thoughts? Any other varying opinions? Anybody that should have been in the top 10 that didn't make it into the top 10?
I kind of thought that Darth Nihilus would be up there.
I thought he would have been ahead of Chewbacca.
Yeah, I would have agreed with that.
I would have put him ahead of Chewbacca personally. Yeah, but all right. So now we've got our questions and answers section coming up here. Thank you very much again, Malia Bean, for the top 10, and thank you, Champy. You did a great job with your first top 10 here. So awesome stuff. Now, if you guys have any questions you'd like answered on the stream, ask them in the live chat here. I just want to do a quick plug for the ALLIDNCEgaming.com. If you guys haven't checked out the website yet, it launched a couple of weeks ago when we first started the stream here. Great work by Chili Dog, Daniels Jack, and the entire content team and website team to get that together. And they just keep adding more content to it every day. We've got AAT guides on there, Rancor guides. We've got, just blogs on, how you should, manage a guild and how you should do recruiting. We've got tons of links to content, different YouTube channels and videos. We've got podcasts up there, as well as, an opportunity for you to vote on the best characters in the game and just continue to add content to the site yourselves. If you are a content creator yourself and you'd like to add to the website, I'm sure the team would be more than glad to, help facilitate that for you. Like I said, go over to the ALLIDNCEgaming.com, check out the website, come on over to our Discord. All are welcome. You don't have to be in an Alliance guild to come hang out with us and chat with us in the Alliance Discord. Everybody's welcome to come in there. If you are looking for a guild, we have over 40 guilds. I believe we have over 20 heroic AAT guilds in our community. So we've definitely got spots for players at all different levels. So if you'd like to join us, again, just go check out the ALLIANCEgaming.com. Now, with the Q&A, good old Maurice, I think, has some sizzling hot questions lined up for us. What do you want to get started off on, Maurice?
I do. You guys ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. The first question comes from good old Maurice. Why do you guys think Malia Bean hates me? He left the Resistance off the top 10 raid teams and now off the top 10 Zetas. Chewy, really?
Yeah. That's actually a good question. I would have put Finn in the top 10 over Chewie or probably even Sidious. in my opinion. I'm not a big fan of the City of Zeta. I don't know. A lot of people are. I've faced it a lot in Arena, and I'm not really too. I'm not threatened by it at all. I mean, Sidious looks just as useless as he was to me 2 months ago or 3 months ago.
It feels like you have to go out of your way to utilize the Zeta. You know, you have to build like a unorthodox team of characters you're probably not going to use anywhere else just to get Sidious's Zeta useful to me.
It doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, I would go elsewhere first. I mean, to me, the leader Zetas are always better anyway because they affect more players. So I mean, I'm always going for Darth Maul first, Qui-Gon first. If you have the clones, Cody. If you have the Resistance team, I'd go with the leaders for these teams first. Vader's lead. Because the leader abilities affect more players. If you're talking about individual Zetas, I'd say Kylo's is probably up there. Nihilus, Boba Fett. There's probably Savage Opress, characters like that that would really benefit more. I think than some of the other characters that were on there. But,
I think Kylo is one you can make an argument with that he would be better than a leadership ability. I think he is the only one you could say I would take him over Vader, I would take him over Mauler, I would take him over Cody. He's the only one.
Yeah, when you can solo a phase of a raid entirely by yourself, that's a pretty serious Zeta. So I mean, I agree. Kylo is insert and play in almost every phase of the game. You can insert him into Galactic War, PvE content. Arena, you can insert him into your raids. I mean, he's just going to be effective for you in every facet of the game. So he's just a great addition. That Zeta is an essential Zeta. And if you don't have it, you should get it right away. That's just my opinion. All right, next question.
All right, next question comes from Jedi Gunny. This one actually pertains to your live stream you did the other night, Remon, on your own, the Galactic War stream. I guess you were discussing your cooldown team that you've been theory crafting with us on the Discord. He wants to know, he watched the stream and wants to know, in that team, he doesn't have General Kenobi, who could he replace? If you want to discuss that team a little bit.
Okay, well, I didn't have Kenobi in the team. My cooldown team, if you're talking about my arena team has Kenobi, so you could be talking about that. But I mean, my cooldown team is actually a Rex lead with Darth Nihilus, Death Trooper, Director Krennic, and Shore Trooper, and it works very well because if you get your guys fast enough, you can get the AOE's off for Nihilus and Death Trooper. You actually can keep their cooldowns at a constant pace where they can only do basic attacks for the majority of the match. So you're just gonna if it works out right and let's say your Rex doesn't get stunned and you just get maybe blasted by an AoE attack from, let's say, Palpatine at the start of an encounter, and he just gives your team a ton of turn meter. Just for example, if you're facing, let's say, a Zeta Qui-Gon, a Zeta Maul team, you can get the chance to actually increase everybody's cooldowns with Nihilus right away, and then throw a bomb with Death Trooper right away, and they're already now their cooldowns have been increased by 2, so it's going to take them 2 turns before they can use anything but a basic attack. And then by that time, if Krennic gets any kind of attack on him, Death Trooper will again have a 50% chance to get 100% turn meter with a Zeta. So if you have a Zeta Death Trooper, he's got a 50% chance every time Krennic gets attacked to get 100% turn meter. So he's going to get to use that bomb again pretty quickly, pretty rapidly. So you'll get to increase their cooldowns again, and then hopefully by that point your Nihilus's cooldowns have decreased, and you'll get to use his special again after that. So you can actually keep them at bay pretty much using only basic attacks for most of the encounter, which gives you a huge advantage. Now, I still haven't figured out all the kinks of the team yet. I'm still trying to figure out whether a Short Trooper makes sense, or whether I should be switching him out for somebody else. I've had thoughts about maybe using a Darth Maul lead with Nihilus, Krennic, Death Trooper, and Sith Trooper, but I don't have a maxed out Sith Trooper to try that team out. I think that team would actually be even more effective than the one I'm using right now with Rex, but I'd have to see. So,
what about Sith Assassins? Because she would give turn meter.
Sith Assassin would be good. Sith Assassin would be good too. I just think that you want to have Nihilus and Death Trooper on the same squad to increase their cooldowns consistently. Krennic is somebody he gives Death Trooper the turn meter, and I've already Trooper. But what I'm saying is, there's possibility that maybe Krennic being in there may not be the best option either. What is cool though is that because Maul does AOE daze, whenever Death Trooper does a basic attack on somebody who's already dazed, he stuns them for one turn. So if he's got AoE daze and then Death Trooper's doing a basic attack on all these characters that are dazed now, they're all going to get stunned. So Death Trooper works really well with both Nihilus for the cooldown increase, and he also works really well with Darth Maul because of the daze. So it's a great combo, and I think there's really something there that could be something great in Arena. I just haven't figured out all the kinks yet. I'm still kind of theory crafting the team. So pretty soon when I get that together, I'll definitely make a video about that, and I'll make my cooldown team video sometime here in the next few weeks. I'm working on Sith Trooper, a little bit in the background to try to see if I can get him up to snuff enough to get him in that squad and try that team out. I think that team might actually be better than the Rex team. But I'm trying out a few things in Galactic War for the time being just to see if I can figure it out. Anyway, when I get that video out, I'll definitely make sure to make everybody aware, and you guys can take a look at it and see what you think for yourself. I think the team looks pretty cool so far. Now, any other question? What's the next question, Maurice?
Oh yeah, we got plenty of them. All right, next question is also from Jedi Gunny, and you guys were discussing why Nihilus wasn't included in that top 10, and this question pertains to that. He is currently in the top 20 of his arena and wants to know if he puts the Nihilus unique Zeta on, will it propel him into the top 10? Is that Zeta worth it?
You want to take that question, Talon? Is Talon here?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't actually have Nihilus, so I don't even know.
I mean, his Zeta is good, but I don't know. It depends on what you're prioritizing him over. Are you taking a Zeta away from a Maul or a Vader or a Kylo or Cody or somebody like that? If so, don't do it. If you have all those people already and you're just looking for something that might put you over the top, is Nihilus viable? Yes. Is he going to help you a bunch? Yes. But like I said, you got to know your priorities too with your Zetas.
Okay. Somebody's saying the sound is not good. Is anybody able to check out the stream real quick on their end to see? You got to lower the game volume.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay.
Hey, I got a personal question.
Yeah, I would mute the game volume for the time being while we're talking.
Yeah, I thought it was. Go ahead. Should be better now. Let me know if it's not.
Okay, I'll just repeat quickly what I said while we're doing that. I was saying you basically got to prioritize your Zeta. So if you don't have Zal, Zader, or Xylo, or Zodi, don't be just throwing Zetas on Nihilus without prioritizing your Zetas. But yeah, he's definitely a decent option.
Okay, excellent. Now, Dartron, you see a question?
Yeah, I want to see what you guys think. How do you beat this team, the Triple Cleanse team?
What's the triple? You're talking about Chirrut, Rex, and
Bazin, Chirrut, and General Kenobi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I would say a Sith team, but that's a pretty good squad. I mean, obviously you're going to keep all the debuffs off you that way, but you got to remember that Rex is still pretty squishy. Kenobi is squishy when you have Darth Maul, because Darth Maul can do significant damage to Kenobi real quickly. He becomes very squishy when you're facing against a Maul team, because he just does so much damage to Jedi. And then you have you were talking about Chirrut. I would say your options would be a Sith team with maybe Nihilus and Savage Press and a few other. You could try Baze and Sharut in that team too. A mirror match would work well against that team. If you ran three cleansers yourself, or you could probably do really well against them with a Vader team too.
Yeah, because for me, I can't use my Sidious because he has all crit chance, so I can't use him in a lineup because the Rex lead. So I basically sub him out with B2, and now I have no problem beating the team. So I just want to hear what different options you guys have for countering that type of team.
Okay, cool. All right, next question.
All right. We have got a couple questions regarding these new ship packs. All right. Ghosty Boy asks, the new ship packs include new unobtainable Omega ship materials. Where do you guys see them putting them in the game in the future, and recommendations on which ship to use them on first?
Lotion, you want to take that question?
Sorry, repeat it. I'm doing Guild Wars, Chubb.
No, you're fine. These new ship packs, the $9.99 packs that you can put your ships to 4-star, they include currently like unavailable Omega ship materials, and he's just curious where you think they'll incorporate them in the game in the future and which ship he would use them on first.
It's really hard to say. I mean, because again, we don't know when they're going to put them in. I would say that whatever your current lineup is that you're using in the arena, your ship arena, you're probably going to want to look at those abilities first. I haven't looked at them that much just for the fact that you can't update or you can't use the match yet to actually utilize that. But obviously, at this point in time, it's all theory craft, and I would probably say until we actually see them, introduced. But my first thing where I would go to is look at my current arena team and look at where those ability mats would be the most effective and start there.
I was looking through the Omegas the other day, actually, on the ships, and it doesn't look like there's a lot of like big gains there. There's no 15% increases. The only 15% increase that I found was on the one for 5s for his target lock area effect ability. So it's like a special attack, right? That gave you a 15% bonus, but most of them are only like a 5% bonus.
Yeah, I'm looking actually through them now. They're not very good. Biston and Scarab Pathfinder seem to get 5% extra turn meter, which could be useful. The Phantom 2, Sabine's ability, the Omega on her unique crew ability actually reduces the cooldown of sights locked by 1 turn.
We actually discussed this. On the Smithy D stream earlier today, and his opinion was the Biston ability, and if I remember correctly, it was somebody gets like
pretty cool.
Somebody gets like 15% damage or something like that.
Yeah, 5s.
Yeah, so fives, or he said that the only 2 that are worth it would be 5s and Biston. So the rest is just like 5% increase to damage, pretty much, So that would be my opinion, at least.
Yeah, but, 5s does great damage as it is, especially with his abilities to remove buffs from the enemies. So
I think we're just kind of we're just kind of touching the beginnings of the ship stuff in this game. I think they're just kind of like we're just on the horizon here, and they're going to start to really incorporate some more ship stuff in the future. I think that's why they're still slowly building out ships. They kind of gave us the ability to start farming ships over time. They want to get people to get 7-star ships before they start rolling out ship content, so they can start rolling out maybe ship raids or something like that. I'm sure we'll see one of those at some point, or at least a raid where a ship's incorporated. Anyway,
I will commend them for the way they're releasing ships. I mean, they are giving everyone ample time to get them ready. They didn't just drop a 7-star ship on us like capital ships. The hardware they had dropped. They're taking their time, and that's pretty cool. That we can all get used to it before we need them for a raid.
Right? Exactly. You don't want to be in a situation where you can't participate because you don't have you didn't have enough time to get stuff together.
I
Or
think a
so
lot of people took their time on the raids before. I mean, sorry, a lot of people took their time on the ships before Zetas came out, so a lot of people are very underprepared for a lot of ship content.
Yeah, the Zetas are going to be there, guys. You know what I mean?
I'm not dissing the First Order. I think First Order's good. I think that somebody wrote that in the chat here. I just think that they're missing something. First Order Stormtrooper, great. Kylo, great. They're all great individually on different teams. I've been using First Order Stormtrooper with Jedi sometimes, and he works great. For a dispel. I've used Kylo in pretty much everything. I think even Phasma Zeta is cool, but I just think they're missing something to make them arena viable. There's somebody in my arena that's in the top 10 with that team. So I mean, they are viable enough to win matches against Sith teams. I just think they're still missing.
They're really missing a true cleanser. They're really truly missing a real tank with a real taunt, like a base initial taunt. I mean, yes, you can get it with First Order Stormtrooper, but it's conditional. But without any dispel abilities of debuffs on them, they just become very susceptible to any debuff team.
I think the First Order teams are going to be better after this new movie comes out. I think they're going to add more characters, and I think that's really going to help them. Until then, they're going to be mediocre without spending a lot of your Zetas.
They're just so conditional.
We got to get that Supreme Leader Snoke, man. That's what it's all about. We're missing Snoke right now.
But we're also missing General Hux.
Yeah.
Like, where's that guy?
All right, next one.
Fleet commander.
All right, we had one more question on those new ship packs. Luigi's Giblets actually bought the packs to get these new ships to 4 stars. How high do you guys think the pilots need to be to make them arena viable? Like gear levels, I guess.
So conditional to your arena. I mean, my arena, 160 plus 1,000 power is, the average for my ship arena, but that's like top 5. It's going to be conditional to, really, I mean, regardless of their abilities and what they bring to the table, it's going to be very different for, whatever your arena current condition is and what you're facing.
Yeah, for example,
you saw in the event. I mean, they're kind of squishy, right? So I mean, to make them arena viable, you're going to need as much power and health as you can. I mean, they're gonna die with 1 or 2 shots, out there in the arena.
Yeah, I mean, in my ship shard, for instance, I'm not in such a big ship shard as these guys. I could probably get away with a Gear 7, Gear 6 character with level 60 or so. But that's going to change pretty quickly here as, we keep moving up. If you can't progress them further than that, that's gonna be a terrible thing down the line for you.
All right, let's move on.
All right, next question comes from our YouTube chat here. It comes from Vlad. He's lost on whom to put his 4th Zeta on. He's got a Zader, Zidius, and a Zodi. He runs Zader in arena with Zidius, TIE Fighter Pilot, Royal Guard, and Boba. Any advice?
Xylo.
I'd say you should be going for Zeta Kylo like right away. But I mean, if he doesn't have Kylo already, that should be his next one. But if he's like way behind on Kylo himself and he's just trying to do something, then I mean his Zeta Boba Fett would be okay too. I mean, it would depend on what he's closer to. If he's closer to a Zeta Savage, go for Zeta Savage. If he's closer to a Zeta Kylo, go for Zeta Kylo. But I mean, if you're nowhere near either of them, like you don't have any shards, I'd say just go with Zeta Boba Fett for right now, and then maybe work on a Zeta Maul or something like that, so you can change up that Vader leader ability, because it's not going to be viable forever.
Well, in my particular arena, it's already fallen off the map.
Oh, it's off the map. I mean, if he's even holding any place in arena with that team right now, then more power to you. But I mean, at some point, that team is not going to be usable anymore for you. So you're going to have to transition to a Zeta Maul or a Rex or something like that. And so I would start focusing on something like that.
Possibly, I mean, if you're going all in on Empire, maybe save it for Death Trooper and you get your Krennic and Death Trooper up to snuff. I mean, it seems like he really favors the Empire. I mean, that could be an option.
Yeah, I agree. And in the chat, Zeta Bubba is very situational. That's why I think if you are close on Kylo, just Kylo. Kylo is just a far and be above all the other ones that you don't already have.
Okay,
Right,
the next question we have actually is another Empire question. It comes from Sporty T. Under which Empire leadership would you think these new two characters would thrive?
I mean, it seems like the Gar Saxon leadership might be something to think about.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe like Gar Saxon, like we said, with fives, and maybe Count Dooku, and maybe a short trooper or something like that, with Krennic and Death Trooper. I don't know, some sort of combination of that. I mean, that's 6 characters with.
Zadar too is kind of up there too. I mean, if you can take a lot of turn meter with all those counter chances, that might be another thing. But it's really hard to see that without playing with them personally too.
Yeah, I personally think it's going to be either the Gar Saxon lead, maybe Palpatine, or an Empire leader that we don't have yet. Maybe Veers. Who knows?
Anthony Goklon, he suggested a Zeta Krennic lead.
It's a possibility. I mean, listen, I think they all sound great. The problem is that you're not going to beat. You're not going to hold an arena against in this all meta right now with that team. So I mean, I'm trying out teams like this cooldown team is like a sandbox team I'm thinking about, but I don't have delusions of thinking that I'm going to put that team in and it's going to hold an arena or anything like that. They're going to, if I put that team in, I'm going to drop. You know what I'm saying? Because all teams are just too fast right now, and they're probably going to, if the RNG stuns all my guys, I'm in a tough spot to start the encounter. So I think it's going to be very situational, but if you're talking about the best squad for them too, I say it falls somewhere in as like a support character or with that Gar Saxon lead, depending on how good that is when it comes out. We'll see. All right, let's move along. You want another drum?
No, well done. Misgendered asks, should I prioritize TIE Fighter pilot or B2 with my Cantina double drops?
I would go TIE Fighter pilot.
Absolutely.
Also, TIE Fighter pilot. He's got dual uses, and he's spyable in a couple places.
Everywhere.
TIE Fighter pilot's an Empire character. He's got he's got a ship. He's also usable in the AAT raid in Phase 3. Does a ton of damage. B2 is really only an arena character.
For those that might be looking at the video, I'm using TIE Fighter pilot now in my top 10 our top 5 arena teams. So he's definitely got a place in many areas.
Yeah, TIE Fighter pilot, I'd say first for sure.
All right, we got a couple, I guess, opinion-oriented questions here now. Brendo Macabo, one of our Alliance members, asks, what are some of the worst characters you've farmed and geared?
Worst character I farmed and geared? Well, it was Kylo until the rework.
Yeah.
But
I'd probably say Ewoks for me.
Yeah, Ewoks. Yeah, that's a good one.
I'll go back to the way beginning. I think I invested way too much time, way too much energy into Talia before I realized how terrible she was.
No, I never went down that ugly road. But I'll tell you what I did do, however, is I farmed and leveled up I farmed and leveled up some of these characters like Krennic and Death Trooper before they were available. So I mean, I spent when Krennic and Death Trooper came out in those packs, we didn't know where they were going to be available. Like we didn't know if they were going to come out into a pack. We didn't know if they were going to, or we didn't know how much the pack was going to cost. Right? Like we thought it was going to be somewhere like around the cost of an Erodian pack or something like that. And then, I ended up investing a whole ton of gear into Death Trooper and Krennic. So I got them both to gear 11 and gear 10. And then I found out that the packs cost 3,000 crystals. So I mean, like I made that investment, not knowing how much the packs were going to cost, and I felt kind of dumb about it afterwards. But listen, it's going to pay off long term because I already have them geared up. So now it's just a matter of shards, So I'll get them there eventually.
Yeah, I am pimping a Gear 11 Stormtrooper and Old Doc in my inventory that I get zero use out of. No, those were some bad mistakes there.
Oh yeah.
All right, and the next one, I guess he just wants to, just for fun, he said, which existing characters would you guys like to see get a Zeta?
I'd like to see General Grievous get a Zeta.
And then this comes from Jumpman421.
Yeah,
I'd like to see General.
I think he is such a long farm. Even in the ship shard, he is such a long farm that he needs something that makes him viable.
I'd like to see General Grievous get a Zeta. I'd like to see General Kenobi get a Zeta. Even though he doesn't really need one right now, he's great without it. I think his leader ability. Leaves a little bit to be desired.
They could really beef up the Jedi faction by giving somebody like Eth Koth or Kit Fisto or some of these garbage Jedi, a Zeta, like a Zeta unique maybe. That could really amp up with a Jedi squad.
I think some of those characters just need a complete, like from the drawing board, like just from scratch rework entirely. Like
Eth Koth is bad, man.
Plo Koon, Eth Koth. You're talking about Kit Fisto. Some of those guys are just
Jedi
awful.
Consulate, like he could
Jedi Consulate, Jedi Knight Guardian. I mean, why does she even exist in this game?
Man, she's terrible.
Yeah, I mean, I would say some of these characters just need a complete rework from scratch, especially Jedi Knight Guardian.
Yeah. That's all the questions I got tonight, guys.
Okay. All right, good stuff. So, anybody else have anything they want to add? First and foremost, I want to talk a little bit about what happened this week at Star Wars Celebration. So we had the trailer for The Last Jedi come out. Did everybody get a chance to check that out?
Yeah. I had a big old nerdgasm.
So really interesting stuff. Luke Skywalker actually said that it's time for the Jedi to end at the end of the trailer. What are your thoughts on that?
I
what do you think
he's going to be going to the dark side.
No,
because in the trailer, he asks Rey, "What do you see?" She says, "The light, the dark, and the middle." Right when she's touching.
No, she says she sees the light. She says she sees the light, the dark,
and the balance. I think it was or something.
Yes,
and the balance. Yeah,
and then Luke says, and the balance is so much bigger. So I. And
he says there's so much. He said there's so much more. Yeah.
Bendu, middle ground where you can tap into both light and dark.
Right. I don't know. It's kind of interesting. I think it's going to be gray. I think what we saw in that initial shot when you're looking at the books there in the background was the actual journal of the wills. Okay. And what's going to happen is he's going to find out that the original plan for the Bendu or the Jedi was completely different than what the Jedi became towards the end of the Clone Wars there. So I think what's going to end up happening is he's going to, the reason that they're calling it The Last Jedi is because Luke is going to be the last Jedi, and after him, it's going to be something different. Just kind of like how the Sith are gone now, and they've returned in the form of the First Order or the Knights of Ren, however you want to call them. So
maybe he's going to instate the rule of two for the Jedi.
Yeah, you actually see the original Jedi logo in the book, and you see Rey training out there, and we get a shot of Kylo Ren. Holding his blade. You can see the scar on his face from the attack on Starkiller Base. You see Poe Dameron's ship get exploded, and you could see another shot of that scene from a different angle where Luke is actually bending down, holding R2-D2's head with his metal hand. But this time you could see the Jedi Temple in the distance burning down. So we'll probably get the chance to find out what actually happened that night in that flashback, or whether it is a flashback at all, or maybe just a view of the future. We'll have to see. But definitely very interesting stuff. I thought it was really cool. I thought the trailer was perfect. It just gave you a little bit, but not so much that you know the whole story. It's just enough to tease you and make you really wait in anticipation for December to come as fast as possible. But
not to be that guy, but I'm going to be that guy. I think a lot of people are excited for Luke, but I think you'll see him with the introduction of this movie. I think that's going to be the big play for them. So a lot of people are trying to say he might come out early. I think that's when we're gonna shoot him finally.
I think we're going to see Luke use some abilities that we've never seen him use before. I think because of the fact that he's going to be using the gray side of the Force, that the balanced side of the Force. I think that leads to many different abilities, right? So he's going to be able to possibly use Force Lightning. He's able to use, maybe a Force Choke. Maybe he'll be able to use a Force Drain. He may get the ability to use some of these dark side abilities because it's just a matter of tapping into different emotions, right? Instead of tapping into anger, or tapping into fear, tapping into hate, things like that, which are all natural some of these dark side abilities. You're supposed to feel that way. It's just a matter of tapping into different emotions. What the Jedi block out, and I think that's fear, tapping into hate, where they're going to find out that ultimately that's not the way they were meant to be, and that's why people like Qui-Gon, they didn't see eye to eye with the Jedi Council on how things went. They believed in living Force rather than the way the Jedi were kind of defending the Republic and became more like a military organization than really a core of people that just did the right thing because it was the right thing to do. So it's just interesting. So we'll have to see what happens. But they did also show a trailer for Battlefront 2. Which looked really cool. You got the chance to see that we're going to be able to use Darth Maul in there. We're going to be able to use Yoda, Rey, Kylo Ren. They showed that it's going to be taking place. It's going to be a story mode in this game. It's actually going to be taking place right after the Battle of Endor. So you're actually going to see in the beginning crawl, you're going to see the Death Star blow up with Palpatine on it, and then you're going to actually get to see what happened right after that when the Empire tried to avenge the death of the Emperor. So it's going to take off from there, and it's pretty interesting to see what's going to happen. So I'm looking forward to that too. You guys get a chance to check that out?
Yeah, the game looks pretty cool, man. I might have to check that one out. I don't play too many like console computer games, but that one looks pretty intense.
Well, my big drawback with the original Battlefront was that that there was no story mode. I thought like it was kind of you kind of got left out with the fact that there was no story to play when you weren't playing online. You had to always go online, and when you go online, it's like the battles were really long. Like sometimes you were in there for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and it's like I could only see myself like doing like 2 battles a day, and then I was pretty much done. Like I had to get off at that point. I couldn't do any more. You know what I'm saying? But it was a lot of fun. I mean, again, the graphics were amazing. They felt immersive, like you actually felt like you were in a Star Wars movie while you were playing the game. I just feel like it was missing something like a different game mode, and it looks like they're going to add that to the new game. So that's pretty cool. And there was also
that shot where Darth Maul fires up his lightsaber, and then it like the camera trucks back a little bit, and you see Yoda just whip up his lightsaber.
It's awesome. Yeah, it's totally awesome.
That would be an awesome battle. Yoda.
Yeah, they made Kylo Ren look sick and Rey look sick. I'm looking forward to it. But also really cool is that they kind of made available a trailer that's been out for a little while. I'd seen it a while back, but it wasn't, put on the actual EA YouTube channel. That for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, that shows Luke Skywalker, on the holotable, and he's fighting against Darth Vader, right? And then 2 stormtroopers come up from the side. He uses the Force push to throw them off the side of the holotable, and then I think Darth Maul, Palpatine, and Asajj Ventress appear to his right, and then the First Order. And then behind him, you see all the light side characters, Leia, and all the rebels and things like that. But it seemed like they were really featuring Jedi Luke in this trailer. And some people that were at Star Wars Celebration saw them actually have Luke as one of the main characters in the big sign that they created for the event. Do you guys think that that's a tease in any way to the fact that maybe Jedi Luke is coming at some point? I mean, he's been due to come into this game for a long time. I mean, it's kind of crazy that the guy's on the logo and we don't have him yet.
Yeah, I mean, it's been how long since game release and
almost 2 years? Yeah. Almost 2 years, yeah.
If you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it right now. I mean, Star Wars Celebration is on. We got like the May the 4th coming up, and so why not have him as the May character? You know,
I'm gonna go
great.
I'm gonna go back to what I said. I think they're gonna wait till the movie. I think that's gonna be their big.
Well, and as we're talking about, the Jedi are potentially going to be transformed into something that is not normally what we would consider Jedi. Maybe some of those new abilities, or just a new thought process around what is a user of the Force. Maybe there's new stuff
Luke later.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome if they
somebody in this game.
It'd be awesome if they just had like if they had like Luke from.
I want to put a whole team of Luke.
If they had like Luke from.
Like Luke with the gun, you know what I mean? And then we're gonna have Luke with the blue lightsaber, Luke with the green lightsaber.
It'd be cool. It'd be cool if they had baby Luke, like when he was on the farm at the end of that Rebels episode with Obi-Wan Kenobi. He's like Luke, like little boy Luke. He's just a pod racer. Or one hand Luke from Bespin.
Yeah, then the one hand.
he's just only got one hand. He can't do anything with the other. He's got no lightsaber. He just yells at you. But it's I'd like to see a lightsaber Luke. Obviously we've already seen lightsaber Rey in the game. That's coming. So I think we're going to get a lot of Force or the Last Jedi characters when we get close to the movie. I'm so excited for it because it's going to be so much cooler than the Rogue One. Even though Rogue One was awesome, I feel like most of that was really my anticipation to see Darth Vader in his prime, in the movie. So the rest of it was a really good movie. I just feel like it was missing something because it wasn't a trilogy story. So now that we're in a trilogy year and we're going to get a new addition to that story, I'm just really excited to see what kind of characters come out. Maybe do we get Snoke in the game? Do we get General Hux? Do we get maybe some sort of a new type of a battle or game mode or a raid, or maybe do they add Jedi Luke, the old Jedi Luke? Do they add lightsaber Rey? Are we going to get to find out if if Finn's going to become a Jedi too, or what's going on with Kylo? So many different ways they can go with it. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens.
There is a couple things that I did hear. I did hear that they're going to be releasing a new game mode. So it's not going to be something that we have already. It's not going to be raids. It's not going to be light side, dark side, cantina battles. It's going to be something new.
Yeah, they said it's going
to that because they haven't dropped any content in a long time.
They said it's going to be something completely different.
They also said that this new one of these new characters is going to have ability never before seen in the game. So that might actually be a big game changer.
Well, I mean, Gar Saxon has an ability we've never seen before in the game too. So I mean, we'll have to see. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, by saying that, they better mean something cool. I mean, like it better be like some really awesome animation. It better not be like like Hera and Sabine just doing the electric slide with a lightsaber again. But we'll see. We'll see. Anyways, again, I want to. I think we're going to wrap it up here. I want to thank everybody for coming on to the show tonight. Maurice, Champy, Lotion for setting it all up for us. Chili Dog and McLeod and everybody in the background that helps out with that stuff. Omega, Dartron. Thank all you guys for coming on tonight. Thank all you guys for checking out the stream and being here and staying with us here to the very end. Very much appreciate that. If you guys get a chance, like I said, go on over to the ALLIANCEgaming.com and follow the instructions over to our Discord. We're going to be having an after party over in the Alliance Discord after this. So, come on over there to check that out. We'll be giving out some ally codes and just having some good old banter, about the game and, all this stuff that just came out over the weekend. There's a lot to talk about. So check us out again next week on Friday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to have the 4th edition of the Alliance Live Show. So it should be really exciting. I'm looking forward to that. We'll have a lot of great stuff for you, the top 10. And, hopefully we'll get some more information about, this Gar Saxon and the the trooper, so we can discuss what they're like in the game as well. By that point, we'll have unlocked them and gotten a chance to try them out. So looking forward to it. But again, thanks guys for coming down tonight. Like, comment, subscribe. If you guys are looking for a guild, we have a spot for you over in the Alliance. And as always, may the force be with you guys, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.
See ya.
Later.